Well, Mark Mendelson is a former detective. He joins us live with his thoughts on the extra police security in the city. Thank you so much for joining us, Mark. So we know that there's a lot of communications between police and many of these community leaders. Talk about what you think some of those conversations might entail and why those conversations are necessary to implement these kind of security measures.
Well, these conversations have actually been taking place for decades. And certainly the Jewish community in Toronto and York region as well have been very alive to their own security, whether it's physical or personal. And there's always been an ongoing dialogue. So getting together with this particular situation in the Middle East is not surprising. And what the police have done is essentially they've done an assessment. They've decided that the best way to deal with this now is to set up a command post, as you mentioned earlier, at Bathurst and Lawrence. Now York Regional has followed suit up in Thornhill, two very large centers for the Jewish community, for a number of reasons. Number one, it offers a visual deterrent to anybody who may decide that they want to commit mischief, whether it's to property or fire bombings or assaulting people who are readily identifiable by their clothing as to what religion they espouse, whether it's Muslim or, say, an Orthodox Jewish family. So that's a visual deterrent. The second part of it is it's going to provide some comfort to the people that live in the community. I mean, the social temperature is so high right now, and we're watching this war minute by minute by minute on social media. It's almost like a tinderbox, and we're not insulated from what's going on in the Middle East. We have communities on both of those entities here in Toronto. So the police are monitoring social media. They're monitoring all kinds of discussions, blogs, things of that nature, misinformation, disinformation, working that out. With the hope that it doesn't end up in some kind of, be it organized or an ad hoc demonstration.
I wanted to touch upon that because, along with the physical presence, there's obviously, reports of threats that have been circulating for the last couple of days about a day of rage today, which is why many Jewish families haven't sent their kids to school. They're genuinely concerned about the safety. What's going on behind the scenes in terms of monitoring those social media sites, and how important is that to police, their operation in maintaining safety?
Well, social media is where this is playing out, whether it's legitimate or illegitimate. So I can assure you, Toronto, OPP, the RCMP, CSIS, everybody's watching this information, and they're looking for those little clues that may spark an ad hoc demonstration, a pop-up demonstration, if you will. And certainly I can say in Toronto, there has been great communication with the chief and the command, along with the police association itself, so that if need be, if they need to increase the personnel, over the course of the weekend or early next week, officers will be available for callbacks immediately. I think Chief Demke was pretty clear that there's going to be zero tolerance, and I think there will be zero tolerance at demonstrations as well.
And he also talked about that there's going to be a heightened police presence for the foreseeable future. We don't know how long this conflict is going to last. We know it's a very tense time and a very sad time for both communities, both Jewish and Palestinians. But the reality is there's always the concern for, people taking out their political views on individuals, and the Jewish community historically has been disproportionately attacked, which is part of the reason why they topped the list of Toronto police hate crimes, not only here in Toronto but right across the country. So how important is it for police to have that presence moving forward so that the community knows they feel safe, and talk a little bit about why police need to plan for this?
It's an excellent question. It's also a hard question to answer. Once you start a project like this, an initiative like this, the big question is when can you pull it back? And that's an operational decision that they're going to have to make over the next couple of days, or it may be weeks. We don't know how long the situation in the Middle East is going to stay at such a heightened state. But they'll have to assess, real credible threat assessments that are taking place, see if there's dangers, and you may see a tapering off of a police presence at a greater state than it is, 2 days ago. But that's an operational problem that's going to have to be addressed and monitored hour by hour over the next couple of days.
Mark Mendelson, always great to chat. We appreciate your perspective. Thanks for stopping by.
My pleasure, Jamie.